So you just got Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX and you're like, cool, I remember Monster Rancher. Golem's my favorite monster in the anime. I want to play as him, only to struggle to find a disc with him available at the start. And that's normal. Monster Rancher doesn't really have a story, but it does have a ton of unlocks and secrets. A lot of the monsters available to you are hidden behind obtuse unlocking conditions, some much more asinine than others, and I'm here to help you make sense of them. We delve into heavy spoilers, so if you're interested in playing blind, this might not be the video for you, but here you go. Here's how you can unlock every monster available to you in Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX. First off, I need to say thanks to the people who came before me. Teawch has a comprehensive video on unlocking everything in Monster Rancher 2 from a few years ago, and you should go check it out after you're done watching this one if you still need more info. We have very different video editing styles, so you guys may gain something from his that you didn't gain from mine, or even vice versa. So let's start with Monster Rancher 1. Out of the gate, the monsters available to you on a fresh save are Dino, Suezo, and Tiger. These three are always available to you all year round at the market, and additionally off a disc stone you have access to Gali, Golem, Hare, Jell, Monol, Naga, Plant, Pixie, Worm, and Disc. You'll be asked throughout the game to go on expeditions every year as long as your monster has enough fame and is strong enough. You have to go on the tightest adventure Karn asks you to join him on to unlock the other two. Ape is available to you after picking up the magic banana on the Heartful Jungle expedition in these locations. Combine the banana with two monsters who are spoiled and you'll get an ape. After you've unlocked the monster once, it will always be available to you at the shrine if you have a disc that spawns it. Magic is similar. You have to find the old mirror in one of these two locations on the tightest expedition. Once you've got it, you can use it as a combo item with a Gali and Monol as the monsters to spawn a magic. This may seem impossible to figure out without prior knowledge, but if you have the old mirror and a monster in A rank, you can enter the Gold Cup tournament, which as a part of its prize tells you about needing Gali and Monol specifically. You don't need to actually beat the tournament first to unlock magic, it's just there to help you out if you didn't bother to look up a video like this one. Henger is like Ape in Magic in that you get him from an expedition. It's not similar to Ape in Magic in that its unlocking condition is fucking ludicrous. First, you gotta go on an expedition in Reno, the desert. You have to collect all 4 pieces of the Henger doll, 2 arms and 2 legs, while on this expedition. You can come back over multiple adventures to collect the pieces. Once that's settled, you need to have a monster in A rank who will in turn be invited to the Winter Invitational. You'll get a doll head for winning that, which combines with the other 4 limbs automatically to make a clay doll. Now you have an item for combining, but you're not done. You need to go back to Reno an additional time with a monster that has at least 600 intelligence. With the doll in your inventory, get your super smart monster ready to read the stone tablet. Your monster will be branded with a mark of forbidden knowledge or whatever this is supposed to be, and can now be combined with any other monster and the clay doll to make a Henger. Dragon's got a much simpler unlock condition. In B rank, there's a tournament called the Trial Cup. It's got 2 worms who show up in B rank regularly and a unique dragon that's way more powerful than both of them. Winning this tournament gives you invitation to the level A Cup later on, and as long as you have an A rank monster on the ranch before the 4th of August. Beating this dragon gives you the dragon tusk item as well as some game text that informs you that to make a dragon you need to combine a stinger with a grape along with a tusk as an item. To unlock Nya, you just have to play the waiting game. In the year 1026, the shop will begin selling cat dolls. Buy one and use it as a combination. That's all there is to it. Doodle requires you to raise a purebred model to at least 80 fame by winning tournaments. After you have at least 80 fame, you have to enter it into a lower grade tournament or lose constantly until its fame drops below 65. This shouldn't take long. At that point, your Monol will be vandalized by punk-ass kids and become a Scribble, a special breed of Monol. Combining your Scribble with another monster will bring your graffiti to life and make a Doodle. Congrats, you now have access to the absolute worst monster in the game. And finally, Ghost. Ghost is a victim of decades of misinformation so bad that even until this year, the Monster Rancher wiki had incorrect methods on how to unlock him. I mean, the wiki isn't particularly reliable in general. If you want info, go to legendcup.com, don't waste your time on the wiki. But this was especially egregious. Here's exactly what you need to do. First, one of your monsters needs to die. It doesn't matter if you give it a funeral or not, despite old info on the matter. Next, you need to spawn a new monster, any monster, from the shrine or market and enter it in a tournament within the next 15 weeks. Win or lose, when your monster gets back from the ranch, it has a 1 in 16 chance of becoming cursed. Holly will comment on this and your monster will gain a weird little marking. Do yourself a favor and save before the tournament so you get chances to re-roll for the curse. Combine this monster with anything else and you'll get a ghost. That's all. No other conditions. And that's it for Monster Rancher 1. Moving on to Monster Rancher 2, we see an even wider variety of unlock conditions. At the market, you have access to Mocchi and Zuum all year round. Each season, you get access to a 3rd monster that rotates out. In spring, you get Suezo, in the summer, you get Arrowhead, in fall, you get Hare, and in the winter, you've got access to Gaboo. The rest of the monsters available from the start are Ape, ColorPandora, Jell, Hopper, Kato, Monol, Naga, Pixie, and Plant. And additionally, Baku, Dragon, Henger, Gali, Golem, and Worm are available as sub-breeds for all of the available breeds, even though they're technically locked at the beginning. The easiest monsters to unlock are Gali, Henger, Mew, and Worm. As long as your active monster has beaten an official E-rank tournament, you will be invited on the 1st of July to the IMA vs FIMBA qualifier match. If you beat this, you get to compete in the IMA vs FIMBA team meet. As long as you enter the official team meet, you will unlock these 4 monsters when you get back to your ranch. You don't even need to win the event. You'll get a chance to enter the qualifier match once every 4 years after you initially unlock the invitation. Baku and Golem are unlocked by having the stable size upgrade and achieving a breeder rank of 4, meaning you've gotten at least 1 monster to rank A. You can unlock the stable upgrade by having the first house upgrade, and also having at least 17,000 gold on you. You'll be asked to pay 15,000 gold to unlock the first stable upgrade. No notification is given to you that you can now use Baku and Golem specifically after you upgrade, but you can find them on discs at the shrine, and there is some text about being able to raise bigger monsters now. Monster Rancher 2 also has its share of expedition unlocks. I'll make a more comprehensive guide on the expedition tips later on, but just know that more intelligence means you have a higher chance of fighting items, higher power means you have a better chance to break obstacles, and high life means you get more energy to explore. You can get Phoenix really early on by going to the first Korea expedition. You'll be invited on the first week of June as long as your monster is in at least D rank and has at least 140 life and 40 fame. In the first Korea entry, there's only one searchable location and you can get a Phoenix feather there. If you don't find the feather on your first try, you're free to reset and try again, but even if you don't, the feather will be available in the expanded air entry that becomes available on your subsequent trips to the volcano in these following locations. Combine any 2 monsters with a feather to get a Phoenix and unlock him at the shrine in the future. On the second and all subsequent missions to Korea, you can find the Joker mask in this location here, known as the Burnt Altar. You need to have at least 300 skill for the mask to appear, and high intelligence is still needed to increase the chance of success of finding the items. Just like with Phoenix, once you have the item, you can use it as a combination to make a Joker. For Durahan, you need to attend the Pari Pari expedition on the first week of October with Kavaro. You'll need to have cleared the first Korea expedition and have a monster who is at least C rank with at least 140 life and 40 fame to trigger this visit. You'll need at least breeder rank 4, same as the unlock for Baku and Golem, and to have a monster with at least 300 intelligence to get the old sheath by exploring this spot. After you get the sheath, go to the shop and talk to Verd. She'll give you some flavor dialogue about the sheath and the sword, and at any point in the game after that conversation, if you have a monster in A rank, you'll be invited on the first week of February to a tournament on the 4th. Beat Leo the Durahan and you'll unlock the item Double Edge, which you can get as a secret seasoning in combination to unlock Durahan. Unlocking access to the Invitational once unlocks it on every following year, though it'll only appear in the calendar if your monster is exactly A rank. Jell is one of the monsters you can get in the Toral's expedition, all the way in the back corner inside that snowman. Your monster will need to be at least C rank with at least 210 life and 50 fame to be invited, and you'll need to have at least breeder rank of 6, meaning you've beaten the S rank official tournament, and a monster with 500 or more intelligence to make the big footprint appear. After you get the big footprint and return from expedition, you'll need to go on the Papas Mountain air entry, where you'll be warned about an especially strong monster. If you complete the air entry and your monster is at least B rank, you'll have a chance to fight Big Hand, the S ranked monster of the location. Beat Big Hand and you'll unlock the Big Boots, which can be used as a combo item to make a Jill. Ducken is the other monster you can get from Torals. First, you need to collect 5 diamond marks from cup jellies you fed your monster. Colt will mail in for a quack doll, say thank you, and then throw it away because you don't need it. Once you've gotten at least 1 quack doll and your monster has at least 350 intelligence, you can go on the Torals expedition to find strong glue in this tree for some reason. Now that you've got the glue, go through the effort and RNG of collecting a second quack doll, which Colt will then glue together. You can use the glued together doll as a secret seasoning at the lab, and you'll unlock a Ducken. Centaur requires you to go on an errand tree like Jell. Once you've achieved breeder rank 4 and have gone on the first Korea expedition, if you send a B rank or higher monster to the Mandy errand tree during the spring or summer months and it returns uninjured, it will bring back a spear with it. This spear belongs to a Centaur and he's not happy about it. He'll attack your monster on your ranch in the following week, but win or lose, you still get to keep the spear. Dragon has a long list of specific requirements to trigger his invitational match that you may have not been aware of because you check them all off through normal play. First, you must have the first stable upgrade, same as Baku and Golem. Second, you must have unlocked Gali, Henger, Mew, and Worm by completing the IMA vs FIMBA match. Third, you must be at least breeder rank 6, same as Jill, meaning you've beaten the S rank official tournament. And finally, you must have a monster on your ranch who is specifically in rank B on July 1st, and this will give you an invitation to fight in the Invitational versus Lagaris on August 2nd. Beat Lagaris and you'll get the Dragon Tusk, similar to in Monster Rancher 1, except this time combining it with any 2 monsters will do. Undine has a strange unlock condition. You must raise a hopper to B rank and ensure it has no fatigue and less than 30 stress during any week in the winter. You can guarantee this by resting it a few weeks in a row. It'll then dig up a hot spring on your property, completely ruining your lawn and excavating the Undine slate. Use this at the lab with any 2 monsters to make an Undine. You'll also need a breeder rank of at least 4 to make this happen though, so if you're planning on using Hopper as your very first monster to speed up the excavation, he'll need to be at least rank A. Digging up the spring also unceremoniously unlocks my boy Niton. It never mentions it and no item is needed, but now you can unlock him at the shrine if you have a disc with him on it. And the hot spring is also the first step in unlocking Zilla. Like Dragon, Baku, and Golem, you'll also need the first stable upgrade for Zilla, as he's a big boy. And once you've achieved rank 6, you can send a B rank or higher monster to the Torval C errand tree, and you'll be warned about a big spooky monster, which turns out to be Zilla King. Defeat Zilla King and you'll get his beard, which you can use at the lab to combine for Zilla. Just like Big Hand, him showing up is completely random, but he'll never appear if your monster is C rank or lower. The next few monsters require your monster to die, which is most quickly done by getting a Hare from a market in the fall and entering him in the Heroes Cup on the 4th week of October. A monster can die in battle if it takes more than 2 times its total life in a single hit, and the Hare you get from the market only has 50 life, so this is pretty easy to achieve. Smoogie has a guaranteed shot of killing Hare with Twister Claw or Oil Fire as long as it hits. I know this is grim and maybe you don't want to play this way, but you know, it's an option. For a ghost, you'll need to have a monster die and hold a funeral for it. Colt says it costs a lot of money, but they actually cost like almost literally nothing. It's like 10 or 100 gold or something paltry. I don't remember, but it's basically nothing. After at least 140 weeks, which is almost 3 years, if you have at least 8k on March 3rd, she'll ask you to upgrade the altar to your dead companion. After at least another 140 weeks, on March 3rd, if you've gotten at least 13k, she'll ask you to do it again. Once you've upgraded the altar twice, you'll get a stick on March 3rd of the following year. Use the stick to combine for Ghost. Mog is another monster that takes forever to actually get, but requires no effort on your part. After you achieve Breeder rank 4 and after you've unlocked Magic Bananas, visit the shop, and Verd will give you some seeds that Colt will plant. After that, you have to wait for a literal decade for the tree to grow, bloom, and die. Once the tree is dead, if you have a monster die on your ranch, it will be replaced by a Mach on the following week. You can unlock Wracky by beating one of the major 4 events, which awards you Breeder rank 7, and if you're at least 5 years into the game. If you have a monster with 90 or more fame, you'll receive a doll in the mail from a fan. Colt is terrified of it and keeps trying to hide it or throw it away. It doesn't really matter what you say during these dialogue choices, so don't be worried about answering wrong when she asks you to throw it away. Once a monster dies, Wracky will appear on your ranch in a similar fashion to Mach. Note that if both Mach and Wracky are available, Mach will always take priority when a monster dies. Bajarl requires you to get both stable upgrades and 3 house upgrades. Once you have these and are at least breeder rank 8, i.e. you have beaten 2 of the major 4, Binto will show up and give you your 4th and final house upgrade, as long as you have at least 22,000 gold on hand. While he's working on the house, Colt sneaks a peek and sees Binto using Bajarls as laborers. In exchange for not exposing his secret about what I can only imagine breaks multiple labor laws, he gives you a magic pot you can use as a seasoning to make a Bajarl. Metalner requires you to be breeder rank 8 and at least 10 years into the game. If you have a monster on your ranch that is B rank or higher, you'll be visited by aliens a few times starting on September 1st. Note that if it's raining, the aliens won't show up, which can be irritating, but you can always reset, it's not a big deal. After a few visits, you'll be given a crystal and some choice parting words. The next time you visit the shrine, the crystal will do some weird magic nonsense, and now you can unlock Metalners at the shrine. You can't use the crystal as a combination item. Metalner is just automatically unlocked. And finally, we come to Beaclon, the most obfuscated unlock in Monster Rancher 2. The conditions for this have been mostly known for decades, but due to people not having tools to data mine in the early 2000s, people used to exercise an abundance of caution that's really not needed. Beaclon requires you to first unlock Worm through the IMA FIMBA meet, and then you have to raise a worm that meets the following conditions. It must be C rank or lower, it needs to be between 4 and 5 years old, it needs to have 80 or more loyalty, and it has no fatigue and 7 or less stress on the 4th week of June. Easiest way to do this is to just rest it a few weeks in a row. As long as the worm meets these 4 conditions, it will build a cocoon on June 4th and metamorphosize into another monster with worm as a subtype. This can be a Pixie, a Suezo, a Naga, a Jell, a Hare, a Monol, or a Gali. The cocoon monster will retain worm's guts regen and stat gains, and this is actually how you get access to the strongest Monols and Galis in the game. A worm Pixie has a faster guts rate than either of those monsters can actually muster on their own. But if in addition to all 4 of those previous steps, you have also fed your worm at least 30 cup jellies, it will instead metamorphosize into a Beaclon. Getting a Beaclon this way unlocks him at the shrine as well. Additionally, in Monster Rancher 2 DX, you get access to all of the enemy monsters you'd find on Errantry and in the Legend Cup. To find the A and S rank Errantry monsters, you just need to go on an Errantry with a monster who's above B rank. It's a random chance to run into them, so you might just want to reset until you find the monsters you want. Once you've encountered an enemy, you can unlock them at the shrine, even if you can't beat them. And that's all. Hopefully this has been helpful in helping you unlock everything in Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX. If you want to learn more about the series, I have a bunch of videos on my channel to get you started, and I stream 3 times a week playing almost only Monster Rancher. Pop in and say hi.